Hey there, welcome to the Pawpaw Chronicles and more with Jim. Well, today what I'm going to do is try to work a little bit on this tree. It's a hot one. You see I got a shade cloth around it. This was a tree that I had grafted earlier this year. And we're going to lift the shade off of it, set it over here to the side, trying to cover up as much of the tree as possible. Now let's get rid of some of these weeds. Open it up a little bit. You know, one of the things that I want to talk about is irrigation. You know, we've had some hot weather here. We're up in to the 90s all week. And I want to try and protect this particular tree the best as I can. This one right here is a grafted Chappelle. I grafted this tree back in March. Let me set this stuff down. And one of the things that I noticed, I forgot to get the rubber band off of it. There we go. Calloused over really nice. Slight bit of a girdle, not enough to worry about. That rubber band's been on there probably about 8-10 weeks. March 27th, April 27th, May 27th, and here we are and going into the third week of June. So it's been about 10 weeks. Now that I got everything cleaned out, something that I want to do is protect it from the elements. And not only am I protecting it with shade cloth from the sun, I also want to give it a little bit of water. And something I found that worked out great for me is the usage of fruit trapper bags. Whoop, whoop. And one of the things, if you notice, that I've shared in the past is these bags retain an awful lot of water. I can pour water into this bag and it'll stay in that bag for a long period of time, and it'll come out of the bag kind of like a sweaty pop bottle. A couple zip ties in there. from under that wire. Already pre-did the hose to help hold that bag up. Go ahead and get this taken care of while I'm thinking about it. There we go. Get that on the outside. Grab my clips back up. These office clips do one great job. We've got 50% shade cloth on here, and that's enough to protect it. It was almost hardened off, but not completely when I stuck it out here. I got another one I need to get planted. There. Now, what I'm going to do is gently pour water into this bag. I've got the fence holding the bag up in place. Now, water will pass through that bag, but it's kind of like a sweaty pop can. And if I pour water on the ground, it'll just run downhill. I got the bag situated uphill from the tree, and as water seeps down, it'll be slow, and it'll help to saturate that ground a little bit. You know, it's just like yourself. We get into hot weather like we're getting into right now, you want to stay hydrated. And that's the same thing for these little trees. There. has 3 gallons of water. Yes, it'll seep out of the bag, but it'll seep slowly out of that bag. That's what I like about these bags as far as retaining water for bigger trees. And I thought, you know, I got so many of them, let's try to use one to my advantage. The water is seeping, but it's seeping really, really slow. And that's what I want. I want it to slowly seep down into the ground to saturate that ground below that tree. That tree was planted this year. It was in a 14-inch tall one pot, but that water table was a lot further down than that. I got other trees out here that are a lot bigger. They've been in the ground for a couple of years. That taproot has already gotten down into the water table, or real close to it, and those will do fine. I have a couple more over here to my left that I'm probably going to do the same thing with. They were planted last fall, and they too were in tall one tree pots, but this is something that I thought, you know what, maybe this will work. Try to keep the trees from stressing completely out, and that bag is still half full of water, so it's doing its job real nice, slow, and easy. So when that ground gets hard and it gets dry and you try to water, the water just runs right off of it. That's the reason why after a big dry spell like we've had, we get heavy rains, we're going to have flooding. The ground is not able to receive that water because it's, I guess the earth you would call kind of crystallized. It's just real hard, and it's like pouring water on a rock. But this right here is allowing water to get into the ground slowly, and that's what I want. Irrigate your trees if you can. Keep them watered when it's real hot, especially when they're young and tender like this and freshly planted. The ones that's been planted for a couple, 3 years, depending on how far down your water table is, I start hitting water roughly around 3 foot deep whenever I'm digging out here. So it's all about taking care of your trees. Well, anyways, my name's Jim. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. Got to get in the house, it's getting hot.